Hello everyone and welcome back to the Silicon Nubian YouTube channel where we're all about things tech. Take a gander, a quick look over YouTube videos of system builds or websites of system builds these days, and you'll see the majority of them are concentrating on builds that contain some of the higher end parts, the 1080 Ti's, the 7700Ks, the Ryzen 1800Xs. While these are fabulous, for many of us these are a pipe dream. Financially, these builds are quite costly, and what I wanted to do is show you a build, what I call the everyday build. So here we are, another build video from us here at Silicon Nubian, and we're going to start by introducing you to some of the components that will be going into this build today. So let's get started. Here we have the Zalman Z1 mid-tower ATX case. Going into it will be the ASRock B250M Pro motherboard. It's a micro ATX motherboard, Intel B250 chipset. We have, next to that, we have the EVGA 500B 500 watt power supply, the Pentium G4560 Kaby Lake based Pentium, dual core with symmetrical multi-threading. Also, we have going into this build the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1 terabyte hard drive, a Samsung 850 EVO 500 gig SSD drive, and 8 gigs 2x4 gigabytes of G.Skill Ripjaws 4 DDR4 memory, 2400 megahertz. So let's get this build started. Hope you really enjoy it, and it's for a special person, so this build has a very special place here at Silicon Nubian, and keep with us and let's get started. folks, another build completed, the everyday build for the everyday person. I call it that because, not to talk down about it, it's actually a quite good system. It's just that it's attainable financially by a lot of people, much more so than those builds where the video card cost us much or more than the cost of this whole build put together. That being said, a few comments I have to make about the parts that went into this. The Zalman Z1 case is a very good case, especially for the money. It costs less than half of what my Phanteks P400S costs, but you could see where the cost savings are. The cost savings are in the quality of the materials. They're thinner. The case is at least half the weight of the Phanteks. Obviously, there's no glass, tempered glass side. It's an acrylic side panel, which still looks good. But other than that, once the case is put together, it's quite solid. It holds everything you need to hold. It has a toolless hard drive and SSD mounting. Actually, no, not for the SSDs. The SSDs do need to be screwed in, but the hard drives do not. It has two very nice fans at the front, 120. There's three 120 millimeter fans, one at the rear and two blue LED ones at the front. Quite a decent case. I was concerned with the cable management, but it turns out that I just had to spend some time. The case obviously doesn't have the cable management features of a case that's twice as expensive, but considering the price, it's pretty good. So if you've ever considered this case, if you like the look of it, I would say give it a try. It's not bad at all. It does have some features that I like. If you look on this side, you'll notice that there's a bump out. It's on the other side as well, which allows for slightly, probably a centimeter taller in terms of coolers if you're going to use a third-party cooler, aftermarket. And also it helps on this side with the cable management. So you can route some cables behind there. And there's a channel that I didn't show you. Maybe you saw it in the video where you have to run all your cables through, which is actually not wide and deep enough. But considering the price, I'm not going to take any points off. Now, the 4560, Pentium G4560 is the star of the show. Very speedy. Of course, you're going to have to match it with a good amount of RAM. I don't recommend 4 gigs of RAM anymore. I think 8 gigs is a great starting point, which is what this system has. Also pair it with a quality SSD, and you have the makings of a very quick everyday system. It's quite speedy. In fact, I would be hard-pressed to tell the difference between this and a much higher spec system for daily tasks such as surfing, word processing, and the like. Everything works great. Booted up first try. Love the motherboard. Has a beautiful white shroud on it, which you're not going to see. Well, actually, you will see it through this acrylic case. The power supply comes from a very reputable company who these days are making some of the best power supplies. If you look at them range wide as opposed to a few other manufacturers out there, which is EVGA. I did use some parts I had lying around. I did use my DVD burner, and I had the RAM, which was brand new, by the way, for another build which was never used. So I cheated on that. I had the SSD drive, which was pretty much new, and the 1 terabyte drive, which had very little use and is less than a year old. The person who's going to receive this is the joy I'm going to feel from them being happy to receive this is 10 times more than the joy I got from building it. And I have to tell you, I really enjoyed building this case. It showed me what it can be done. Overall cost for the build, if you were to buy all the parts, are probably under $600 or $700 Canadian. Probably less than that. I believe it would be less than that. That's for everything. Not the monitor, obviously, not the keyboard mouse, but the case, hard drive, SSD, motherboard, and RAM, power supply. Definitely under the $700 mark, probably in the $600 mark. So it's a great build and a fantastic performer. Once again, the G4560, it's the real deal, people. We're talking the Pentium, Haswell-based Pentium. If I'm not Kaby Lake, sorry. My mistake, it's a Kaby Lake based Pentium G4560. And it has 2 cores, but it has multi-threading, so 2 cores, 4 threads. Definitely budget king right now until the Ryzen i3 comes out, whenever it does, and then we'll start making the real comparison. So that's it. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Please support this channel, tell others about it. We do have a presence on Facebook with a brand new group amongst the ones that existed before called PC Construction Zone. Please, it's for those people who build PCs, interested in building them. If you want to present what you think you're going to build, propose builds, we'll critique it. No fanboys allowed. Very nice place to hang out. Just started. And check us also out on Facebook at our other 2 other sites, Silicon Nubian, and there's one more. And continue to support this channel. Thank you so much, subscribers, for sticking with me. I'd like to hear your comments, and we'll see you again soon.